Hey friend, good morning. Yep, I still have 6 minutes. It's still morning. I am not wasting any time jumping into this video today. I'm going to ask you a question. Can you see past what's right in front of your face? Sometimes it's really hard. So I'm pretty sure you probably have an idea of what this is. If you saw my post from, I think it was Saturday, I actually posted a picture of this. And I said, what do you see? I had some interesting answers. Some people said an acorn. I think some people thought maybe I was trying to fool them a little bit and thinking it wasn't actually an acorn, but it is. It really is an acorn. When you find things like this, when you find these little things that God drops in nature sometimes, it's so easy to just walk right past them. How many times have you seen, taken a walk in the woods? You know, it's getting to be about that time of the year. Acorns are falling left and right. I see these things all the time. I've picked them up before. I've looked at them. I've popped the caps off. All kinds of things. I never really took the time to see past what was right in front of my eyes. I'll be down in a minute. I never really took the time to see past what was right in front of my eyes until Saturday. And I picked this thing up and I have been carrying this around. I mean, just not really carrying it around, but I've actually been sitting here spinning it for about a half an hour now. And I started to do a little research on the acorn, so I want to share something with you about this. Because I tend to find analogies in things like this, like nature and gardening, and I tend to look a little bit deeper. And so when I asked the question on Saturday, what do you see here? Some people said a baby oak tree. One person said a non-aborted oak tree or something like that. I loved it. It was clever. I see potential. But listen, and let me tell you what I learned about this acorn, okay? So we know the acorns grow in oak trees, right? And they grow, they form this hard outer shell, they form this cap on them, and then they fall to the ground. Many, many acorns don't survive because there are a lot of things out there in the world, in nature, that like to devour acorns. I want you to really think about this symbolically, okay? As I am telling you this, I want you to form your own thoughts about what I'm actually getting at. There are many things out there in the world that like to devour acorns. You know the lucky ones. You know the acorns that survive. Those are the ones that find themselves on the barren ground and they immediately start to put out roots into the soil and search for water. The root is what anchors this acorn to the ground. Where are you putting out your roots? Where are you searching for water in this dry and barren world that is literally trying to devour you and tear you up? Where are you putting your roots down? That is going to be so important as to how you're going to survive and how you're going to thrive. Okay? I'll be down in a minute. Thanks. I'm right in the middle of something. Okay. So anyway, I found this article, and this was the first line of the article about the acorn. It said, in the deepest days of winter, when all seems dark, nature is hard at work. We have to go through really dark seasons in order for our full potential to be able to spring forth. That is a really hard pill to swallow, right? If the acorn didn't go through the dark of winter, so here's what happens. The acorn takes root, okay? So the roots anchor this acorn to the ground, and that's how it survives winter. It survives the ups and downs. It survives the ice cold temperatures. It survives the gentle warmings, okay? And there are two little sac things inside here. And I may be butchering the terminology of this. I didn't look up the exact pronunciation, but I'm calling them cotyledons, okay? There's two little sacs in here called cotyledons. And when the soil starts to warm up and it becomes moist from spring, these sacs, these cotyledons, swell and they crack the hard outer shell of this acorn. And it is not until this acorn has been buried, dark, cold, alone, broken, cracked, burst, that the new life of the oak tree can actually spring forth from this. Think about that, guys. That's pretty cool, right? So then listen to this, okay? So these cotyledons are what nourish the sapling, whatever you want to call it. Is that the right word for it? Sapling. They will continue to nourish that little tree even past the point where it can start to take care of itself. Even past the point where that oak tree starts to form its own leaves, where it captures the sun's light, the whole process of photosynthesis, nourishment, the roots get stronger, the trunk gets stronger, the leaves form. Those cotyledons will still provide support and nourishment for that tree. Hey, Tammy! For several months until they fall off. Guys, we're not meant to do this thing called life alone. We need cotyledons, okay? I was just talking to a friend of mine. I'm like, you're now my cotyledon, okay? We need cotyledons. We think that once we break forth, that all is well with the world and that we can do it on our own. And that's not the case. God gave this little acorn everything that it needed to survive, even before it could survive on its own. So be the acorn, you guys. When you find yourself in the deepest, darkest winter, dig your roots. Find water in Jesus. Jesus is your anchor. Jesus is your root system. He is your support when things get really rough, when things get really dark, all right? Put those feelers out and sink into Jesus and what he has to offer you. And then listen to the support and the encouragement from your friends, from your cotyledons, who God has placed around you to support you and lift you up and encourage you. God cannot orchestrate, like sometimes literally knowing that God sees me right where I am in those dark moments where I don't want to tell anybody else I'm in a dark moment, right? But when God sees that I'm in a dark moment and he lets me know that he sees by dropping an acorn in front of my feet, by putting a card in the mail. He's the one that laid it on my friends' hearts to put cards in the mail for me. I got another one today, you guys. That's God, okay? That's God. He has surrounded me with cotyledons, and he has surrounded you with cotyledons. Don't miss what God has put right in front of your eyes, okay? He has it there for you. He wants to be your anchor, your support, your root. He is what is going to hold you and carry you. But he has placed people around you to support you until you can start going at it on your own. And then he has given you the privilege of also being that for somebody else, right? So I challenge you today, even in the smallest things, don't miss what God is putting right before your eyes. And if you can find a story or an analogy or a lesson in something as simple as an acorn today, and for you it might not be an acorn, it might be something else, but I challenge you to look. I challenge you to think beyond what you actually see into the deeper meaning or the deeper significance. And not everything has it, okay? Let's be honest, not everything has it, but I promise you, you'll find Jesus somewhere in your day. I promise you, he is dropping acorns in front of you, and he wants you to know that he sees you. Wherever you're at right now, if you're in the deep dark of winter, or if you're in the middle of your spring where your shell is just starting to crack and you're starting to break free, wherever you're at, whatever season you're in, he sees you. So don't miss those acorns that he is dropping right in front of your feet. All right, friends? Have a good day.